Crysis 2 has some heavy weight on its shoulders. PC gamers want a new system benchmark. Console players were promised the best looking game ever. And after the rise of Call of Duty, Crysis fans have worried. Would Crysis 2 be a narrow, dumbed down experience? Thankfully, the answer is no. Crysis 2 sidesteps the oversimplification trend of the last few years with nano-suited grace. Mixing beauty and destruction, Crysis 2 is more focused than its predecessor, but keeps the foundation that makes Crysis, well, Crysis. You may have trouble paying attention to Crysis 2's sci-fi story of corporations, transhumanism, and alien invasions amidst the sensory assault. Crysis 2 on Xbox 360 is the best-looking console game to date. It avoids the dark, hyper-filtered visual style of other recent graphics showcases. Instead, Crysis 2 basks in light. Light in Crysis 2 cascades, over buildings, through trees and glass. It bounces around levels and paints a picture like you haven't seen in a game like this before. All that light falls upon some pretty majestic destruction. It's hard not to get caught up watching the FDR drive ripple and shake apart amidst an earthquake, or to marvel at a mid-air firefight between attack choppers and alien dropships. Crysis 2 never seems to run out of amazing things to show you or scenes to set. All of those sweet set pieces are complemented by some really great music and sound effects that really fill the room. Meanwhile, Crysis 2's story is slow to start, but succeeds. Mostly. There are some bizarre plot holes that are never really explained, but the script never treats its audience like idiots, and towards the end of the game, things really pull together. This is helped by the game's perspective, which never leaves first person save for loading screens. Even the upgrade menu sees you raising your hand and twitching your fingers to select different slots. Gameplay in Crysis 2 revolves around the superpowered nanosuit in its three modes: Stealth, Strength, and Armor. Stealth makes you nearly invisible. Strength lets you run fast, jump higher, and toss enemies across the street. Armor makes you something of a walking tank. Each mode drains energy from your suit to different degrees, and you need to learn to manage your powers in combat without getting killed. There's a great sense of movement and physicality in Crysis 2, which is helped by fairly large sandbox levels. Crysis 2's environments aren't just wide, they're tall. This verticality allows for tactical options that go way beyond most other shooters. This works both ways though. While you'll feel like a predator stalking Crynet soldiers while cloaked, the aliens Seth make things more complicated. This all works because Crysis 2 controls so well. Shifting from one suit mode to another is fast, allowing you to experiment easily. Crysis 2 also features the now standard persistent upgrade-based multiplayer modes, much like Call of Duty. But the staple Crysis 2 gameplay remains, and 16 superpower soldiers duking it out, switching between powers on the fly, can be a lot of fun. However, after a couple of months of beta play and several hours with the final version of Crysis 2's multiplayer, I can safely say there are balance issues with stealth, nanovision, and snipers. These make me wonder if a strong community will form around Crysis 2 and keep multiplayer active in the months to come. Crysis 2 is a beautiful, engrossing experience. It confidently delivers a series of escalating and changing encounters and scenarios that will push you to think like very few shooters have, more than delivering on the promise of Crytek's previous games. For more on Crysis 2, check out IGN.com.